Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, March 15th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's NBA and NHL games, look ahead to tonight's games in each sport. Then I'll go over tonight's NCAA tournament first four games in the men's and NIT in the men's, news and notes, and best bet. All right, we're going to start the NBA. We'll recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's games. Cavs over the Clippers, 121-11 in OT. Clippers dropped to 36-35. Cleveland improves to 39-29. Hawks over the Trailblazers, 122-113. Hawks 34-34. Portland 26-41. Nuggets over the 76ers, 114-110. Denver 41-28. Philly 41-26. Hornets over the Thunder, 134-116. The Hornets are 34-35. OKC is 20-48. Timberwolves over the Spurs, 149-139. Timberwolves 40-30. San Antonio 26-43. Warriors over the Wizards, 126-112. Warriors 47-22. Washington 29-38. Kings over the Bulls, 112-103. The Kings are 25-45. Chicago 41-27. Bucks over the Jazz, 117-111. Bucks 43-26. Utah 42-26. And the Raptors over the Lakers, 114-103. Toronto 38-30. LA 29-39. So, best bet, a loser. Looking ahead to tonight's games, only four. Crazy enough. 7 o'clock, you have the Grizzlies and the Pacers from Indianapolis. My projection is Grizzlies 10.5, total 242.5, and it is 7.5 and 232. I like the over. Nets Magic, my projection is Brooklyn by 5.25, total 227 and 4/5, and it's 9.5 and 232. I'm gonna go with Orlando getting the 9.5. No, they're not going to win outright. I just think they cover. 7:30 of the Pistons and the Heat. My projection is Miami by 16.25, total 214.5, and it's 12.5 and 216.5. I'm going to lay the 12.5 of Miami. And 8 o'clock NBA TV, the Suns and the Pelicans. My projection is the Suns by 8.5, total of 231 and 3/10, and it's 6 and 225.5. I'm going to go with the over in this game. All right, now we'll move on to the NHL. We'll recap last night's slate and look ahead to tonight's slate. Only one game last night. I forgot about this. Coyotes over the Senators, 5-3. Coyotes, 19-36-4. Ottawa, 21-33-5. Number 3 started the game with 40 saves on 43 shots. Scott Wedgwood. Number 2 started the game with 2 goals. Josh Norris. Number 1 started the game with a hat trick. Lawson Krause. Big window tonight. 7 o'clock, you have the Stars and the Maple Leafs from Toronto. The Leafs are minus 130 or 154. Dallas plus 128. Over under 6.5 minus 110 each way. Dallas plus 1.5 is minus 205. Toronto minus 1.5 is plus 164. I'm going over. Coyotes Canadiens. Montreal minus 170. Arizona plus 140. Over under 6. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Arizona plus 1.5 is minus 188. Montreal minus 1.5 is plus 152. Montreal's playing a little bit better on their Martin St. Louis, but I don't want to take them in regulation. I just don't think either of these teams are very good. I like the over at minus 114. Ducks Rangers. Rangers minus 250. Ducks plus 202. Over under 6. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 134. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 110. I'm going to go with a conservative and contrarian over. And even money. I could see the Rangers going off here. And Igor Shesterkin's in a little bit of a slump. Islanders Capitals. Caps minus 162. Isles plus 134. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Islanders plus 1.5 is minus 210. Caps minus 1.5 is plus 160. It just moved to plus 156. And the Isles plus 1.5 is minus 194. I'm going to go Capitals in regulation at even money. 8 o'clock, Penguins Predators. That's a decent game. Pens minus 115. Preds minus 104 over under 6. Overs minus 15. Unders minus 105. Pens minus 1.5 is plus 225. Nashville plus 1.5 is minus 290. I'm going to go with the Pens on the money line minus 115. They need this game. They're neck and neck with the Rangers. So they need it. Golden Knights Jets. Jets minus 125. Vegas plus 104 over under 6.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Vegas plus 1.5 is minus 260. Jets minus 1.5 is plus 205. I'm going over 6.5 minus 104. Vegas has just not played well in net, and they're giving up a lot of goals. $8:30 Bruins Blackhawks. For some reason, this game's not listed on here. Maybe DraftKings has it. But that's obviously a 2013 Stanley Cup Final rematch, but a lot of the pieces are gone, except for like the cores like Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, and Patrice Bergeron, and Brad Marchand. Yeah, it's on DraftKings though. Boston's minus 175, Chicago's plus 150 over under 6, overs even money, unders minus 120. Boston minus 1.5 is plus 135, Chicago plus 1.5 is minus 155. I'm going to go over 6, even money. 9 o'clock, the Red Wings and the Oilers. DraftKings has it, FanDuel doesn't. Oilers minus 310, Detroit plus 255, over under 6.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Detroit plus 1.5 is plus 110, Edmonton minus 1.5 is minus 130. I'm going to go under 6.5, minus 105. I just don't think Detroit's very good at scoring goals. Devils Canucks, Vancouver, minus 172. Devils plus 142 over under 6.5. Overs plus 108. Unders minus 132. Devils plus 1.5 is minus 184. Vancouver minus 1.5 is plus 148. Vancouver just moved to minus 164. Devils just moved to plus 136. I'm going to go over 6.5 at plus 108. I just think that this is an over game. The Canucks, where things stand right now, are 3 back of Vegas for the final wild card spot. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. That Vegas is barely holding on to a playoff spot. That's how far they have fallen. And both Dallas and Vancouver have games in hand. 10:30, Avs Kings. That's a really good game tonight. Avs minus 220, Kings plus 180, over under 6. Overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Avs minus 1.5 is plus 112. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 140. I'm very tempted to go with the upset and pick the Kings. They're in second in the division, fighting for first, and guess what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with the big underdog to win outright, and the Kings at plus 180. And last but not least, the Panthers and the Sharks. The Panthers minus 255, Sharks plus 205, over under 6.5, overs minus 113, unders minus 106. Panthers minus 1.5 is minus 104, Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 118. I like the over 6.5 minus 114. 2 high-scoring teams. I really like it a lot. All right, now I'm going to go over the first 4 games for tonight that are being played. I went over lines and projections on the March Madness preview show, but I'm just going to do it again here in case you missed it. 640 Truth TV in the Midwest region. Texas A&M Corpus Christi out of the Southland, and Texas Southern out of the SWAC. Corpus Christi 23-11 on the year. Texas Southern is 18-12. My projection for this game is Texas Southern by 9, total of 139 4/5. And Texas Southern is giving 3.5, totals 136. I'm going to lay the 3.5 with Texas Southern for my pick here. I feel that they're a been there and done that team. They are veteran laden, as is Corpus Christi. Texas Southern was in it last year. The year before probably, or could have been them too, the COVID year, and then Prairie View won it in 19. So, and then 18 was Texas Southern too. So, like I said, they've been there and done that team. Corpus Christi really's never been in this spot, so experience matters. Give me Texas Southern. And the second of two first four games tonight in the East region, you have 2 12 seeds in Indiana out of the Big Ten and Wyoming out of the Mountain West. 9-10 on True TV. My projections, Indiana by 8, total of 137.5, and it is 4 and 133. I'm going to go over here with my pick. I have a slightly larger edge on the over. I love Indiana as well. Indiana and the over is a good same-game parlay. But I think Indiana wins and covers, but my podcast play is going to be over 133. Indiana hasn't been in the tournament in a while. Just disappointing year after disappointing year. And Mike Woodson, I think, has done a really good job this year. Last year, they weren't in the postseason. The year before, they probably would have been, if not been for the pandemic. They probably would have got in. Although they kind of faltered in Big Ten play. They were in the NIT 3 years ago. But they haven't been in the big dance since the 15-16 season under Tom Crean, which is crazy to think about. So, good on Mike Woodson for getting them there. And Wyoming, just an incredible season. Incredible. They should be proud. All right, now I'm going to do NIT picks for tonight. I'm going to try to be quick with the NIT because the NCAA tournament is really what we care about more here. So the first round begins tonight at home campuses. 7 o'clock, ESPNU, Princeton, VCU. You're 6-3 from VCU. My projections, VCU, 5.5, total of 138 and 13/20. And it is for some. Oh, I know why I don't see this game, because it's Princeton. So they're obviously in New Jersey. So yeah, here's some lines. Trying to find it here. It's 7. VCU's giving 7. And the total is 137. So close on each side. I'm going to go with the slight over. 5 seed Belmont, 4 seed Vanderbilt. ESPN 2. Projection Belmont by 9, total 141 and 2 fits, and it's Vandy by 4, total 144. Give me Belmont plus the 4 and plus 146 outright. Belmont's winning that game. On ESPN, 18 Missouri State, 1 seed Oklahoma. Projection Oklahoma by 5, total of 139 and 3/10. And it's 6 and 138. Slight over. But also take a dab at Missouri State. Texas State and North Texas, 8 o'clock. Projection North Texas 7.5, total 126 and 7/10, and it's 9 and 118. Over. 7 seed Cleveland State and 2 seed Xavier, 9 o'clock ESPNU. Projection Xavier by 8, total 144 and 3/5. And it's 11.5 and 146. I'm taking Cleveland State in the points. ESPN 2, Alcorn State, Texas A&M. You're 8-1. Projection A&M by 25, total 138 and 9/20. And it's 20 and 137.5. I'm going to lay the points at Texas A&M, actually. 5 seed Oregon, 4 seed Utah State. 9 o'clock on ESPN. Projection Oregon by 12, total 140 and 19/20. And it's Utah State by 5, total 144. Give me Oregon plus the 5 and plus 172 outright. 5 seed Santa Clara and 4 seed Washington State, 11 o'clock on ESPNU. Projection Wazoo by 3 3/4, total 143 and 4/5. And it's 4 and 150.5. Under. And the last one on ESPN 2 at 11 o'clock, St. Bonaventure, Colorado, 5-4 matchup. Projection Bonaventure 1.5, total of 137 and 7/20, and it is Colorado by 4, total 103.5. Give me Bonaventure plus the 4 and plus whatever the money line is, 146 to win outright. So there you have it for NIT. Now we'll move on to news and notes for today. There's a lot to get to. So the Red Sox have joined the Freddie Freeman Sweepstakes. That's incredible. Usually the team that joins the party at the last second usually wins. Or a rival of the team swoops in and gets him. I wonder if this is going to poo-poo the Yankees to go overboard and sign Freddie Freeman. Yesterday, I had just had this weird feeling. I think there's a possibility he ends up going to the Yankees. This feels very Teixeira-y. This feels Garrett Cole-y to me. Because remember, the Red Sox were rumored to get Mark Teixeira. Didn't get him. The Red Sox were never in the Garrett Cole sweepstakes, but Garrett Cole was the Dodgers and the Angels, and then the Yankees swooped. And the Yankees were in it, but they weren't talked about as the front runners. The front runners were the Angels because Garrett Cole's a West Coast guy, but he ended up going to the Yankees. So, I don't know. I just have this gut feeling that Freeman might end up in the Bronx that I probably wouldn't have had that thought 24 hours ago. But you know else why I think there's a distinct possibility of that more than people may think? Because Matt Olson got traded from the Athletics to the Braves. Christian Pache, Shea Langoliers, and 2 more prospects going back to Oakland. That means Freddie Freeman's not going back to Atlanta. They don't make that trade not knowing anything about Freddie Freeman. I don't think the Braves want to go to the 6th year. But the question is, who will? Will the Dodgers? I don't think the Dodgers or the Yankees even will. I'm going to say that one of those 2 teams overpays him on a 5-year deal. It could be like 5 years, $200 million or something like that. But I think it's a good ad for Atlanta. They get younger at the position. They don't get better at the position. They just get younger at the position. He's going to smash home runs. He doesn't hit for average like Freddie Freeman does, but he'll hit a lot of home runs. They do have Acuna coming back anyway. I still think this is the front runner to win the NL East, even with the first base change. And meanwhile, for Oakland, that's a lot to get back in return. They should be very happy with the return. That's about as good as a return that you can get with Pache, who could be a perennial all-star outfielder, and Langoliers, who could be a all-star catcher. So, Oakland now has a really deep farm system. And there's still guys I think have that could still be traded. Sean Murphy, maybe Sean Manaea, Frankie Montas, Matt Chapman. So we'll see. Should be interesting for to see how bad the Athletics blow it up. So we talked about the Yankees a little bit. So Garrett Cole and Josh Donaldson made amends. Had a productive conversation yesterday about their disagreements, and then or after their disagreements. So that's good. That they're both ready to go for the season. No bad blood. More baseball stuff. Brad Hand 1 year, $6 million to the Phillies. So that's a good ad for them. And then the Reds traded Eugenio Suarez and Jesse Winker to the Mariners yesterday, as Justin Dunn, Brandon Williamson, and Jake Fraley go back to Cincy. I think it's a good deal for Seattle, getting two above-average players to put in that lineup. Obviously, Suarez replacing Seager, and they needed an outfielder. So I do think that the Mariners have a chance to make the playoffs with the expanded playoffs now intact. And then they improved their pitching staff this offseason too, after overachieving a year ago. Usually those types of teams tend to underachieve the next year, but we'll see. And for Cincinnati, I like getting Justin Dunn to deal, but I think they could have gotten more. They're tanking now, it looks like. They're going to lose Castellanos. They traded Sonny Gray to Minnesota. So between the Reds and the Athletics, we'll see if either of these teams continue to make some trades. The Brewers signed Andrew McCutchen. I like that pickup for Milwaukee. He's somebody that I think still has something left in the tank. It's a team that I think has a chance to repeat as division champs. So, good ad by Milwaukee. Major League Baseball might keep the ghost runner rule, which I do not like. I think that is an awful rule. Pretty much gifts teams wins. It really does. I hate that rule. Peter Alonso was in a brutal accident after the car flipped 3 times on his way to spring training. He says he's really thankful to be here. And Peter Alonso's wife posted the crash on Instagram. So hopefully, it's very hopeful that he's okay. Fernando Tatis Jr. out up to 3 months with a broken wrist. Tatis undecided on surgery. And people are wondering if this injury is linked to a car crash that he was in the offseason. It was a motorcycle accident. He hurt his wrist in December. So people are speculating whether that's related to that. Meanwhile, Padres, come on. It's just the hits. I feel like they always just keep coming for this team. And they had so much potential, and they disappoint year after year. And it feels like that's going to be heading that way now with their best player out. NFL free agency, Aaron Rodgers signs new Packers deal. $150.6 million guaranteed on his 4-year extension, which is wild. And I'm sure Aaron Rodgers is thrilled that he's the highest paid player in the league, and deservingly so, winning the last 2 MVP awards. Chargers signed J.C. Jackson, 5 years, $82.5 million. That is a great pickup for the Chargers. They look like a team that is building towards something. And they have to be in the Super Bowl conversation with the moves they've made so far. And expecting Justin Herbert to get better. Teddy Bridgewater to Miami on a 1-year deal to back up Tua. There's a lot of people joking that saying that he's going to be their starter. But if something happens to Tua, he's competent. At least. And for what I think is the worst free agent signing so far, 4 years, $84 million for Christian Kirk for the Jaguars. He's not a number one receiver. Awful signing. It's my least favorite signing. I get it. You're trying to build around Trevor Lawrence. But I hate that contract. He's not worth $21 million this season. The Browns cut Jarvis Landry. Guys that are rumored are the Saints and the Chiefs, who I think would be both really good additions. Steelers signing Mitch Trubisky to a 2-year deal, as he's going to go in slated to be their starter. So Mitch Trubisky had the year in Buffalo to back up Josh Allen and learn from there, and he is something that could bring a little something to Pittsburgh. I'm not the biggest Trubisky fan, but I wouldn't be totally stunned if he's improved. I mean, the Steelers are a better team than the Bears were, and Mike Tomlin's a much better coach than Matt Nagy was. So that's the case for Trubisky succeeding in Pittsburgh. So we'll see how this one works out. Green Bay cutting Zadarius Smith. So there's another pass rusher on the free agent market. Miami signed Cedric Wilson, 3 years, $22.8 million. I think that's a little bit of an overpay for someone that was the fourth receiver on the Cowboys. That's what you do when you're on the Cowboys. You get overpaid by another team, and that other team is Miami. But they needed a receiver. So that's not the worst signing, but I just don't like the contract. Brandon Sherf, 3-year deal. $52.5 million, $30 million guaranteed with the Jags. Good signing. He's a good player. Helping protect Trevor Lawrence is important. 49ers signed Travarius Ward, 3-year deal, $42 million. So the Niners had secondary depth, a good signing there. Frank Clark staying with the Chiefs, 2-year deal, $36 million. So they reworked his contract. So good on Frank Clark for staying with the Chiefs. I feel like they needed to keep him. Eagles are going to sign Hassan Reddick. $45 million, I think, for 3 years. Philly needed somebody like that, so I think that's a decent signing for them. The Giants signed Mark Lewinsky, 3 years, $20 million, to help improve their offensive line. I think that's a good signing. And then they signed John Feliciano from Buffalo, too, which I thought was a interesting and great signing for them. So Giants improving their offensive line a little on the fly. Jaguars 1 year, $9 million for Evan Ingram. I actually don't mind the contract for Ingram. It's a better contract than Christian Kirk, that's for sure. But I don't mind that one at all for Jacksonville, as much as I did not like Evan Ingram on the Giants. Here's something funny. The Nuggets had a Twitter troll as the 76ers Twitter deleted their 2021 is greater than 2015 tweet. Yikes. So you love to see the trolling. Yeah, it's a simple math ratio. And then Denver goes, yeah, probably a good call on this delete. That's funny. Tyrek Evans joins the Bucks G League affiliate. I think he can end up playing on the Bucks. I really do. Start him off in the G League is kind of right, and then if he's good, then he could be a bench piece for Milwaukee. There's rumors that Quinn Snyder is viewed as a potential successor to Greg Popovich in San Antonio. That would be really interesting. I think I predicted Quinn Snyder to leave the Jazz to go elsewhere when I did the Future NBA Coaches podcast in the summertime, so that would be kind of ironic. Karis LeVert and Lauri Markkanen came back yesterday for Cleveland, but Dean Wade remained out due to knee soreness. Austin Matthews got suspended for cross-checking Rasmus Dahlin. So, we'll see how the Maple Leafs respond to not having one of their better players the next two games. Big trade in hockey, Josh Mason to the Avalanche for a prospect and a second-round pick. I like that deal for Colorado. Solid defenseman. I think Anaheim got a nice return there, too, although it's going to be a high second. So I don't know if I like that return as much for Anaheim. Jacob Chychrun out 2 to 4 weeks due to a lower body injury. We'll see if he's still traded or not. Probably not. I think Arizona will want the moon and the stars for him. Something sad, WWE. Scott Hall passes away at the age of 63, a.k.a. Razor Ramon, and founding NWO member. Thoughts and prayers to the WWE community and his friends and family. That's just very sad. Scott Hall was a really good wrestler and obviously a Hall of Famer. And on the Freddie Freeman sweepstakes, the Yankees continue to talk to Anthony Rizzo under the conditioning belief top choice Freddie Freeman is still not a likelihood. So they must think he's going to Boston or LA. I mean, Anthony Rizzo is better than Luke Voigt. They gave up a lot for him last year, so I wouldn't mind them re-signing Anthony Rizzo. He's still a really good player. Excellent defensive player at first base, too. And non-sports news, Rebel Wilson flips middle finger at puntin', and he goes, "This is Jester for puntin'." Andrew Cuomo releases TV spot. He says, "I haven't been perfect. I've made mistakes." Jesus. Like, it really makes me angry when people assault women, especially the way Cuomo did. So, I do not like him at all. He wasn't a good governor, and he's an even ruder person. The White House is considering Joe Biden going to Europe in the coming weeks. We'll see if that is to be or not. And Elon Musk challenges Putin to single combat Russian space agency responds. So more stuff's going to come out from this Russia thing. Obviously, it's just very sad. And I think this is going to go on a little bit. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. This is a hard one. I really do like Texas Southern a lot. But this is March, and usually I don't do well taking the lower tier college basketball teams. And obviously, like I said, the over in the Laker game lost. But another one I'm considering is over in Phoenix, New Orleans, but no Chris Paul in that one. The Memphis, Indiana over. That's a high number, though, although it is John Morant. So you know what? I'm just going to go with Texas Southern minus the 3.5. Why not? I'm going to lay a unit on it. This is March. I'm laying the points for Texas Southern against A&M Corpus Christi minus 3.5. All right, so that's it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the results in the tournament. It's both NCAA First Four and NIT, and look at tomorrow's games. Tomorrow's going to be a busier show. We have to do women's First Four, Masked Singer, Survivor. We still have to talk about Idol, and then news and notes and best bet. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.